Thank you for your patience. It's now 6:30. Time for the show to begin. So thank you all for being here. There we are. Thank you all for being here. We are very excited to be here. We are those Thrilling Days of Yesteryear, and we are a group. We've been working together pretty much for the most part. This is our 12th season in doing shows. We normally do our shows just down the street at the Oak Park Arms about every 6 weeks or so on Sunday afternoons. You're all welcome to join that and come and check out the show there. But the Belmont was so happy and wonderful to bring us here to do a special presentation just for you guys and the special visitors from elsewhere. Thanks for being here. So we recreate classic favorite shows from the golden age of radio, and tonight we'll be celebrating a classic of both novels and film. Now, in the 1930s, an ex-detective in San Francisco, can everybody hear me okay? Is it good? Okay. An ex-detective in San Francisco rocked the detective novel world with a new style of gritty and what was to later be coined hard-boiled detective novels and short stories. Gone were the proper and dignified Ellery Queen or Perrault days. Long past were the intellectual Sherlock Holmes. Dashiell Hammett created characters that were flawed. He took us into seedy underworld of San Francisco and showed us things that we had never seen before. The heroes weren't pure and the villains were complex. The stories multi-layered and were intentionally misleading to the reader. Things were no longer black and white. Things were not as they seemed. Things got messy and out of control. And not everything was tied up in a nice and tidy bow at the end. Everything was shades of gray. And in the middle of that gray was a detective that had no name and was only referred to by all readers and reviewers as the Continental Op. Until Sam Spade appeared. Here at last was a clearly defined character who had his own morals, his own code, which may or may not be aligned with the law. And he paved the way for many iconic detectives to follow, like Raymond Chandler's Philip Marlowe of that same era, or the modern-day Spencer by the late Robert B. Parker. And while there was a film adaptation the following year in 1931, it wasn't until the 1941 version that really grabbed everybody's attention, starring such iconic celebrities as Humphrey Bogart, Peter Lorre, and Sidney Greenstreet, made the characters of Spade, Cairo, and Gutman jump off the screen. Ironically, while this story appeared on the radio quite a few times with the original cast, for some reason, this Luxe Radio Theatre adaptation from February 8, 1943, exactly 70 years ago, by the way, did not feature any of the original stars. Instead, you'll see the role of Spade being performed by another iconic hard-boiled actor. So we will now perform this production for you as it aired many years ago, complete with sound effects, music, and more. Now while you're listening, you might pretend that you are one of those who had the fortune of being in the live studio audience as they watch their favorite performers do their thing. Or perhaps you may just wish to sit back, relax, close your eyes, and imagine that you are sitting in your own living room in front of the old Philco radio, anxiously awaiting for your favorite show to begin. So join us now as we take you back to those thrilling days of yesteryear.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Luxe Radio Theatre brings you Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Krieger in The Maltese Falcon. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Some people prefer mystery stories because of the intellectual challenge they present. Personally, I'm seldom able to figure out who done it without skipping to the back of the book. But give me a good detective story, and like presidents, bankers, housewives, and chorus girls the country over, I find that my own troubles fold up their tents like the Arabs and silently steal away. Tonight, we point with pride to a triumph of the art, the Dashiell Hammett classic, The Maltese Falcon. Brought to us by three of our favorite stars, Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Krieger. The Warner Brothers screenplay was masterfully written and directed by John Huston, who comes by his talents naturally because he's Walter Huston's son. For the next hour, we follow the eerie trail of this fabulous falcon, which is coveted by many people to their great ill fortune and to the great ill health of it. I think most of us have a secret desire to be detectives. At least that seems to be very true of this audience. Because you've done some good, practical detective work by discovering dozens of different ways to use Luxe Flakes. And that doesn't make any of us unhappy. Nowadays, many familiar materials are doing a wartime job. Nylon and silk are going into parachutes. Cotton, rayon, and wool into uniforms. And many other wartime uses. That means that we on the home front must make the things we have last longer so that our boys on the fighting front will have what they need. You're all trying to track down ways and means to make washable fabrics last. And that clue that's given you domestic detectives the solution is Luxe Flakes. But now let's track down the Maltese Falcon, because here's the first act, starring Edward G. Robinson as Sam Spade, Gail Patrick as Bridget, and Laird Krieger as Gutman. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the city of San Francisco lies sleeping under a blanket of fog. Along a lonely street, a man walks slowly, his footsteps ringing hollowly against the wet pavement. He passes a deserted alley and stops. The man turns and peers for a long time into the shadows. Suddenly, one of the shadows moves. The man stumbles backward. His hands reach out to shield his body.
All right, Spade, open up. We know you're in there. Come on, Spade, come on out.
Who is it?
Dundee and Poland. We want to talk to you.
Come in, Lieutenant. Nice time to make a call.
Yeah.
4 in the morning. Or did your watch stop?
We don't have any hours on the force, Spade. Got a couple of questions to ask you.
Sure. Hiya, Tom.
Hello, Sam.
What do you know about this killing, Spade?
Very little.
Archer was your partner, wasn't he?
That's right.
Spade and Archer, private detectives. I guess you'll have to change that name.
Yeah. From now on, it's just Sam Spade.
Yeah.
You don't seem very broken up over this, Spade. Miles Archer gets shot dead 2 hours ago, and you toss it off like a scotch and soda.
Oh, excuse me. Will you have one, Lieutenant?
No, I won't.
Okay. Mind if I have one, Lieutenant? You
No.
don't like me too much, do you, Dundee?
I don't like any cops who aren't on the force. I asked you what you knew about Miles Archer getting killed.
Well, it's once again very little. Your boys called me at 10 after 2. I understand they found a Webley automatic in the alley with 1 bullet on it.
Yeah. Was Archer on a job last night?
Well, sure. He was supposed to be tailing a fellow named Floyd Thursby.
Thursby? What for? Come on, Spade, what for?
We were trying to find out where he lived.
Spade, suppose you answer once without thinking so hard.
I don't like this, Dundee. What are you sucking around for? Tell me or get out.
I asked you why you were tailing Thursby.
Well, I wasn't. Miles was. For the swell reason that we had a client who was paying good United States money to have him tailed.
Who's the client?
Well, I'm sorry, I can't tell you that.
Oh, be reasonable, Sam. Give us a chance. How can we turn up anything on Miles' killing if you don't tell us what you got?
Okay. It was a girl who wanted us to tail Thursby.
What girl?
She came into the office yesterday afternoon. I didn't know who she was. Effie announced her about 3 o'clock. Said there was a girl to see me. A girl named Wonderly.
There's a girl to see you, Mr. Spade. She says her name's Wonderly.
What is she, Effie? A customer?
I guess so. You'll want to see her anyway, Mr. Spade. She's a knockout.
Well, sure in, Effie, darling.
Will you come in, Miss Wonderly?
Thank you. Mr. Spade.
Yeah, that's right. What can I do for you, Miss Wonderly?
Well, I don't know where to start. I asked at the hotel for the name of a reliable private detective, and they mentioned
I
yours.
see. Well, now, suppose you tell me about it from the very beginning.
Well, I'm from New York. I've come here to find my sister.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you sure she's in San Francisco?
Well, she was 2 weeks ago. I have a letter from her. She came here with a man named Thursby, Floyd Thursby.
You mean she ran away with him?
Yes. Oh, Mr. Spade, I've got to find her. Mother and father are in Honolulu, and it would kill them. I've got to get her back before they come home.
Well, what did she say in the letter?
Nothing, except that she was all right. I sent her a note begging her not to do anything foolish. I sent it to General Delivery. I told her I was coming out to get her. I shouldn't have done that, should I?
Well, it's not always easy to know what to do. You haven't found her?
No, I told her I'd be at the St. Mark for her to meet me there. But I've waited 3 whole days. She didn't come. She didn't even send a message.
Well, go on.
Oh, it was horrible. Waiting. Yesterday afternoon, I went to the post office. Corinne didn't come for her mail, but Floyd Thursby did.
Well, did you speak to him?
Yes. He wouldn't tell me where Corinne was, but he promised to bring her to the hotel this evening.
Hiya, Sam. Say, Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right, Miles. Miss Wonderly, this is Mr. Archer, my partner.
Well, how do you do?
Mr. Archer?
Anything I can do, Sam?
Well, Miss Wonderly's sister ran away from New York with a fellow named Thursby.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Wonderly has seen Thursby and has a date with him tonight at the St. Mark. Maybe he'll bring the sister with him, but the chances are he won't. Miss Wonderly wants us to find the sister and get away from him and back home, right?
Yes, but I want you to know that he's a dangerous man. I don't think he'd stop at anything. I don't believe he'd hesitate to kill Corinne if he thought it would save him.
Well, what time is he coming to see you?
Between 8 and 10.
All right, Miss Wonderly. We'll have a man there.
Oh, no, Sam, no. This is too important for that. I'll look after it myself, Miss Wonderly.
Oh, thank you.
Not at all.
Oh, here, I brought some money. Will $200 be enough?
Well, to begin with, yes. Oh, by the way, it would help some if you'd meet Thursby in the lobby.
Oh, I will.
You don't have to look for me, Miss Wonderly. I'll see you all right.
Oh, thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Miss Wonderly. See you tonight.
Yes, goodbye.
Well, Miles, what you think of her?
You saw her first, Sam, but I spoke first.
I wasn't talking about her figure. What about her story?
Huh? Oh, what about it?
You've got a great brain, Miles. Yes, you have.
So, Miles went out to tail Thursby last night.
Yeah?
And Thursby shot him. Is that what you think?
No, that's what you think, Dundee. I don't know.
Tom, get on the phone. Call the St. Mark and ask for a girl named Wonderly.
I thought of that myself, Lieutenant. She was never registered. The whole story's probably a fake.
Oh, was it? How about yours, Mr. Spade?
Tom, what's your boyfriend getting at?
I'll tell you what I'm getting at. Floyd Thursby was shot down in front of his hotel an hour ago.
Take your paws off me.
Easy, boss. Don't rough him up.
Where were you tonight, Spade?
I was right here all night long.
Got any proof?
No. So you think I shot Thursby, huh?
Yeah, I think you did.
Well, I know where I stand now. Did Thursby die?
Yeah.
Well, how did I kill him? I forget.
He was shot 3 times in the back with a .44.
Hotel people know anything about him?
Nothing, except he'd been there a week.
Hello?
Alone.
Well, did you find out who he was? What his game was?
Nope. We thought you could tell us that.
I've never seen Thursby, dead or alive.
Now look, Spade, if you did get Thursby, you'll get a square deal out of me and most of the breaks. Don't know that I blame you a lot, the man that killed your partner, but that wouldn't keep me from nailing you.
Yeah, fair enough. But I'd feel better if you'd have a drink with me. No?
No.
Well, good night, gentlemen. I'm tired.
Belmont
Hello?
Village.
Yes? Oh, hello, Miss Wonderly. Where are you? Garnet Apartments 101, huh? I'll be there in a few minutes. Oh, by the way, what's your name this morning? Miss LeBlanc? Okay, Miss LeBlanc.
Mr. Spade, I have a terrible confession to make.
Yeah? Well, go ahead, Miss LeBlanc.
Well, that story I told you yesterday was all a story.
Oh, that's all right. I didn't believe your story anyhow. I believed your $200.
Oh?
You paid too much for someone who was telling the truth. Now,
I see.
let's clear up one thing first, Miss LeBlanc.
What?
Your name. Now, what is it? Not LeBlanc.
No, it's really Shaughnessy.
First name?
Bridget.
Bridget Shaughnessy. Well, that's one I can believe.
Mr. Spade, tell me, am I to blame for last night?
Well, you warned us that Thursday was dangerous. I wouldn't say it was your fault.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Archer was so alive yesterday, so solid and
Now
hearty.
stop it. He knew what he was doing. Those are the chances we take. Anyway, there's no time for worrying about that. Right now, there's a flock of cops running around with their noses to the ground.
Mr. Spade, do they know about me?
No, so far, all they know is that there's a girl somewhere.
But must they know about me at all, Mr. Spade? Couldn't you manage to shield me from them?
No, maybe, but I'll have to know what's it all about.
Well, I can't tell you now. Later I will. You'll have to trust me. Oh, I'm so alone and afraid. I've got nobody to help me if you won't. Please trust me. Help me. Be generous, Mr. Spade.
You don't need much of anybody's help. You're good. It's chiefly your eyes, I think. That throb you get in your voice when you say things like, "Be generous, Mr. Spade."
All right, I deserve that. But the lie was in the way I said and not in what I said. You can leave if you like.
No, not yet. I've got nothing against trusting you blindly, but I can't do any good if I don't know what it's all about. For instance, I've got to have some sort of line on your friend Thursby.
I met him in Hong Kong. We came here just last week.
Where? Not from Hong Kong.
No.
Where?
Well, I can't tell you.
Go on.
I needed him. I was completely dependent on him. He knew it. He took advantage of it to double-cross me.
How?
I can't tell you that either.
Well, why'd you want him shadowed?
I want to learn how far he'd gone, whom he was meeting.
Did he kill Archer?
Yes, certainly.
Well, Thursby had a Luger in his shoulder holster. Archer wasn't killed with a Luger.
Floyd always carries an extra revolver in his overcoat pocket.
Why all the guns?
He lived by them.
Well, you picked a nice playmate. All right, let's have it now. How bad a spot are you in?
As bad could be.
Physical danger?
Yes, and I'm not heroic. I don't think there's anything worse than death.
Oh, shut up. You mean somebody who might kill you?
Yes, and they'll get me unless you help. You've got to help. Do you hear? You've got to.
I said shut up. All right, I'll help you. They'll probably give it to me too, huh? All right, so what? I guess I won't be the first guy who let a dame make a sucker out of him.
He's back again, Mr. Spade.
Who, Effie?
The fellow that was here this morning. Here's his card.
Joel Cairo. What is he, a character?
Mm-hmm. Foreign type. He smells like gardenia.
Gardenia, huh? Well, shoot him in, Effie.
Right. Will you come in, Mr. Cairo?
You're very kind. Thank you.
Now, sit down, Mr. Cairo.
Thank you.
I'm Sam Spade. Something I could do for you, Mr. Cairo?
Yes, thank you. But first, may I stranger offer condolences for your partner's unfortunate death.
Thank you.
And may I ask, Mr. Spade, if there is a certain relationship between that and the death of the man Thursby? May I ask that?
No.
I beg your pardon. Mr. Spade, I am trying to recover an ornament that has been, shall we say, mislaid. I thought and hoped you could assist me.
Yeah?
The ornament is a statuette, a black figure of a bird.
Yeah?
And I am prepared to pay on behalf of the figure's rightful owner the sum of $5,000 for its recovery. Or what is the phrase? No questions will be asked.
$5,000 is a lot of money. Come in.
Is there anything else for me, Mr. Spade?
No. Good night, Effie. And lock the door when you go, will you?
Good night.
Yes, Mr. Cairo, $5,000 is a very... What do you think you're doing?
I am pointing a revolver at a spot directly between your eyes. You will please clasp your hands together at the back of your neck and do not move. I intend to search your office, and if you attempt to prevent me, I shall certainly shoot you.
All right. Go ahead.
You will please stand. I shall make sure you are not armed.
Certainly.
Oh!
All right, Cairo, drop the gun, please. Drop it! Drop it! Or do I twist your arm off at the elbow?
No! Here, take it!
Yeah, thanks. Now sit down over there and behave yourself.
You You have bruised me, Mr. Spade.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess I got a little annoyed. I don't like guys who make a phony offer of $5,000.
You are mistaken, Mr. Spade. That was and is a genuine offer.
Yeah?
And I am prepared to pay $5,000 for the figure's return. You have the figure?
No.
Then why did you risk serious injury to prevent my searching for it?
Well, I should sit around and let somebody come in and stick me up? So the offer still goes, huh?
Most certainly.
Well, all right. Now, let's put the cards on the table. Your first guess was that I had the bird. Now, there's nothing to that. Now, what's your second guess?
That you know where it is, or that at least you know where it is, where you can get it.
Well, you're not hiring me to do any murders or burglaries for you, but simply to get it back, if possible, in an honest, lawful way.
Is possible. And in any event, with discretion. I'm at the Hotel Belvedere when you wish to communicate with me. Good evening, Mr. Spade.
So long. Oh, wait. You know a girl named Wonderly?
No, I do not.
LeBlanc?
No.
Well, how about Bridget Shaughnessy?
The Hotel Belvedere, Mr. Spade. Room 6, drive 5.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, may I have my revolver back, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd forgotten it. Here you are.
Thank you. And you will please keep your hands behind your head. I still intend to search your office.
Well, I'll be. All right, go ahead.
Thank you.
Come in, Mr. Spade. Do you have any news for me?
Yeah, little.
I mean, did you manage it so that the police won't have to know about me?
No, they won't. For a while, anyway.
Oh, well, you won't get into any trouble, you won't, Mr. Spade.
No, I don't mind a reasonable amount of trouble.
Do sit down, please.
Do sit down, please. Now, look. You aren't exactly the sort of person you pretend to be, are you?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Schoolgirl manner, stammering, blushing, and all that. Because if you are, honey, we'll never get anyplace. Now, stop acting.
All right, I'm sorry.
Good. I saw Joel Cairo tonight.
You know him?
Only slightly.
What did he say?
About what?
About me.
Nothing.
Well, what did he talk about?
Well, he offered me $5,000 for the black bird.
Oh, did he? And what did you say?
Well, I said $5,000 is a lot of money.
It is. It's a lot more than I could ever offer you if I must bid for your loyalty.
Well, that's good. Coming from you. Now, what have you given me besides $200? Have you given me any of your confidence, any of your truth?
Can't you trust me a little longer?
Oh, how much is a little? What are you waiting for?
Well, I must talk to Joel Cairo.
Well, you can see him tonight.
He can't come here. I can't let him know where I am. I'm afraid.
Well, my place then. How about it?
All right, your place.
Good.
But wait. You'll have to let me go about this in my own way. You mustn't interfere.
No, I'll just sit and listen while you two talk over old times.
You're a strange person. I like you.
Yeah? Well, don't overdo it. Sit down, Mr. Cairo. Sit down, Miss Shaughnessy.
I might advise you, Mr. Spade, there's a boy outside who seems to be watching the house.
Yeah, I know. I spotted him.
What boy? Who is he?
No, I don't know. A gunman, I guess. He's been tailing me around town all evening.
Did he follow you to my apartment?
No, I shook him before that. Well, let's start the meeting.
I'm delighted to see you again, Miss Shaughnessy.
I was sure you would be, Joel.
I'll mix a drink. Go ahead, Bridget.
Mr. Spade told me about your offer for the Falcon. How soon can you have the money be ready?
It is ready.
In cash?
Oh, yes.
You're ready to give us $5,000 if we turn over the Falcon to you?
I should be able to give you the money at, say, 10:30 in the morning.
But I haven't got the Falcon.
What?
Oh, don't worry. I'll have it in another week at the most.
Why must I wait a week?
Well, perhaps not a whole week.
And why, if I may ask, are you willing to sell it to me at all?
I'm afraid, after what happened to Floyd, I'm afraid to touch it, except to turn it over to somebody else right away.
Tell me, exactly what did happen to Floyd?
He was murdered by the fat man.
The fat man? Is he here?
I don't know. I suppose so. What difference does it make?
It might make a world of difference.
Yes, You might be able to get around the fat man, Joel, as you did with that one in Istanbul. What was his name? The one you did away with?
It's a lie, you dirty little...
Get away from her. Get away. You hear?
Oh!
Now, cool down.
This is the second time you have put your hands on me, Mr. Spade.
Well, let's try and make it the last. Now, you better get out, Cairo. I'll call you tomorrow.
You're working for her now, is that it?
I'm working for myself. You want to withdraw your offer? Just say so.
The offer still stands.
Well, all right then. Get out.
Very well. Good night, Mr. Spade.
Well, you've got some fine friends, Miss Shaughnessy. They always try to throttle you?
I suppose I ought to thank you.
Well, you've had your talk with Cairo. Now you can talk to me.
Well, it didn't work out the way I hoped. I'll have to go now.
No. Not until you've told me about it.
Am I a prisoner?
Well, maybe. Or maybe that kid outside hasn't gone home yet.
Do you think he's still there?
Likely.
Well, I'll stay. For a while, anyhow.
Okay. Now, what's this bird, this falcon, that everybody's all steamed up about?
It's a black figure of a bird, a hawk or a falcon about a foot high.
Well, what makes it so important?
I don't know. They wouldn't tell me, but they promised me $5,000 if I helped them get it from the man who had it.
That was in Istanbul?
Yes,
Well, go ahead.
that's all. They promised me the money to help them, and I did. Then we found out that Joel Cairo meant to desert us, taking the falcon with him and leaving Floyd and me nothing. So we did exactly that to Mr. Cairo. But then I wasn't any better off than before because Floyd hadn't any intention of keeping his promise to me about sharing equally. I learned that by the time we got here.
What's the bird made of?
Porcelain or black stone, I don't know.
You're a liar.
What?
A liar.
Yes, I am. I've always been a liar.
Well, don't brag about it. Is there any truth at all in your yarn?
Some. Not very much.
All right. We've got all night before us. I'll put some coffee on and we'll try again.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of lying and thinking up lies and not knowing what is a lie and what's the truth. Don't ask me. Please don't. If there's any kindness in you at all.
What are you trying now? That's right, turn on the beauty. Let your eyes get nice and starry. Put your arms around my neck and look pleadingly at me. Yeah, you're great. You think it's going to be getting you anyplace?
Oh, it couldn't with you.
No? Well, don't be too sure.
We'll hear Act 2 of The Maltese Falcon, starring Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Krieger in just a moment. Meanwhile, here's our Hollywood reporter, Libby Collins. What's the news story tonight, Libby?
Well, I'll give you a lead, Mr. Keeling. Gable's back and Garson's got him.
Oh, Libby, you're talking about Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's new picture Adventure, starring Greer Garson and Clark Gable.
You guessed it. That's just what I meant when I said
Gable's back and Garson's got him. Could be Greer's red gold hair and her lovely smooth complexion.
Oh, could be. There's the reason why 9 out of 10 screen stars use Luxe toilet soap, Mr. Kennedy.
Adventure's a very exciting picture. Did you see the previews?
No, not yet, though I was there while they were filming some of the scenes. Ooh, my, what an enormous place that Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer studio is.
Yes, a city in itself.
I visited some of the stars' dressing rooms while I was there.
You mean you actually went into the dressing rooms of those famous beauties, Libby? A lot of women would envy you that experience.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kennedy. I imagine they would be interested to see how luxurious and well-appointed those dressing rooms are.
And there was one luxury, Libby, I bet you saw everywhere.
Now, whatever did you mean by that, Mr. Kennedy? Well, I won't keep you in suspense. I can report that every single dressing room had Luxe toilet soap in it.
Must be something about that soap, Libby, when the loveliest women in the world depend on it for daily beauty care.
Well, screen stars tell me Aquavita's facials are wonderfully effective. They're quick and easy, too. Just cover your face with the creamy Luxe soap lather and work it well in. Rinse it with warm water, splash on cold, and pat dry with a soft towel. That's all there is to it.
And this gentle daily care does make skin lovelier. Recent tests by skin specialists proved it. Actually, 3 out of 4 complexions improved in a short time.
And, Mr. Kennedy, women might like to know that in these days of shortages, Luxe toilet soap is thrifty to use. Each cake lasts and lasts.
If you aren't acquainted with these famous beauty soap, why not get some tomorrow? Let Luxe Toilet Soap give your skin the gentle, cherishing care it ought to have. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act 2 of The Maltese Falcon, starring Edward G. Robinson as Sam Spade, Gail Patrick as Bridget, and Laird Krieger as Gutman. On the trail of the Black Falcon, Sam Spade has followed nothing but blind alleys. But now a call comes from his secretary.
He was here twice, Mr. Spade. He wouldn't leave his name, though.
No place I can reach him?
He said something about the Hotel Barclay.
Well, what do you look like, Effie? Can you describe him?
Well, that's easy enough. A big fellow. About 270 pounds.
Yeah? The fat man.
Lobby of the Hotel Berkeley, Sam Spade watches for the fat man, but he sees only the boy who has followed him for the last 3 days.
All right, son. Where is he?
What?
Come on, where is he? You work for him, don't you?
Who?
The fat man. I want to speak to him.
What do you think you're doing, Jack? You kidding me?
No, I'll tell you when I am. You've been tailing me around for 3 days, and I'm getting a little sick of it. You can tell the fat man I said so.
Oh, shove off.
You'll have to talk to me before you're through, Sonny. So will he.
I said shove
You
off.
can take your hand out of your pocket. Guns don't scare me
You
much.
keep asking for it, you're gonna get it plenty.
People lose their teeth talking like that. If you want to hang around, be polite. Now tell the fat man to call me and leave his name.
Hello, Mr. Spade. Mr. Goodman called. He says the boy gave him the message. Room 407, the Barclay, this afternoon at 3.
Ah, Mr. Spade, delighted to see you, delighted.
How do you do, Mr. Gubbin?
Sit down, my friend, we'll have a little drink.
Well, can't stay long, sorry. I've got an appointment at the district attorney's office.
Oh, interesting. Say when, Mr. Spade.
I'll leave that to you.
Excellent. Excellent. I distrust a man who says when. If he's got to be careful not to drink too much, it's because he's not to be trusted when he does. You're a closed-mouthed man, Mr. Spade.
No, I like to talk. I enjoy it.
Better and better. I distrust a closed-mouthed man. He generally picks the wrong time to talk. He says the wrong things. Well, sir, we'll talk.
Swell. Will we talk about the black bird?
You're the man for me, sir. No beating about the bush, but right to the point. But first, sir, answer me a question. Are you here as Miss Shaughnessy's representative or Mr. Cairo?
Well, there's nothing certain about it either way yet. It depends.
Which will you represent? You will either be the one or the other.
No, not necessarily.
Who else is there?
Well, there's me.
Ah, that's wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I do like a man who tells you right off that he's looking out for
Now,
himself.
let's talk about the black bird.
Let's. Mr. Spade, have you any conception of how much money can be got for that black bird?
No.
Well, sir, if I told you half, you'd call me a liar.
No. Not even if I thought so.
You know, of course, what the bird is, of course.
No, I didn't.
You don't. They didn't tell you that.
Well, I know what it was supposed to look like, and I know the value in human life that you people put on it.
But Miss Shaughnessy didn't tell you what it is, and Cairo didn't either. But they must know what it is, or do they? What is your impression, sir?
Well, there isn't much to go by. Cairo wouldn't talk. The girl said she didn't know, but I took it for granted she was lying.
Then they don't know. I am the only one in this whole wide, wonderful world who does.
Now, that's great. When you've told me, that'll make 2 of us.
Mathematically correct, sir. But I don't know for certain that I'm going to tell you.
Now, don't be foolish. You know what it is. I know where it is. That's why I'm here.
Well, sir, where is it? You see, I must tell things, but you refuse. That is hardly equitable, sir. No. I don't think we can do business along these lines.
No. Well, think again and think fast. I told that gunman of yours that you'd have to talk to me before you finished. Now, I tell you now that you do your talking today or you're through. Now, what are you wasting my time for? I can get along without you. Now, talk.
Hey, anything wrong, boss?
Come in, Wilma.
Oh, yeah. Come in, Sonny. Keep your hands off your gun or I'll knock your ears down.
Listen, you keep it up.
Wilma, just stand over there, Wilma. Excitable young man, Mr. Spade.
Well, make up your mind, Goodman. While you're doing it, keep that gunsel away from him. I'll kill him.
Mr. Spade, I must say you have a most violent temper.
Well, think it over. You've got till 5:30, then you're either in or out. For keeps.
Now look, Mr. Spade, I got a murder on my hands. The boss is yelling for a conviction. We need your help now. Who killed Floyd Thursby?
I don't know.
Perhaps you don't know, but you could make an excellent guess.
Well, my guess might be excellent, or it might be crummy. But Mrs. Spade didn't raise any children dippy enough to make guesses in front of a district attorney and a stenographer.
Mr. Spade, I wish you wouldn't regard this as a formal inquiry. And please don't think I have any belief in those theories that the police seem to have formed. You see, they think you killed Thursby.
Yeah? Well, what's your theory?
Simple. Tell me who Archer was shadowing Thursby, and I'll tell you the murderer.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
Whether I'm wrong isn't for you to judge. I'm a sworn officer of the law, Mr. Spade. I
thought this was an informal talk.
It is,
Well, then
but
listen. The police think I'm mixed up in those killings. Well, my best chance of clearing myself is to bring in the murders all tied up, see? My only chance of ever tying them up is to keeping people away from, like you, because you'd only gum up the works.
Wow, well, just a minute,
And I don't
Mr.
want any
Spade.
more of these informal talks. You want to see me again? Pinch me, or subpoena me, or something. And I'll come down with my lawyer. See you at the inquest.
Hey, you.
Well, hiya, son. Didn't expect to see you until 5:25. Hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Oh, you keep on riding me, they'll be picking iron out of your liver.
The cheaper the crook, the gaudier the pattern. Gutman ready to talk?
He's waiting at the hotel. Get going.
Oh, they're on their way up now. Thank you. Oh, hello, operator. I don't want to receive any calls for about an hour. Yes, thank you.
Come on, get in, Sonny.
Mr. Spade.
Here, Gutman. Here's your gunman's 6-shooter.
Well, what's this?
I took it away from him. I was afraid he might hurt himself.
I'll get you, Spade. Someday I'll let you have it right in the face. Your mother's
Get
not
out of
even-
here.
Wait outside, Wilma. By gad, sir, you're a chap worth knowing. An amazing character. Here, I'll fix a drink for you.
Thanks.
Oh, by the way, I owe you an apology.
Never mind that. Never mind. Let's talk about the bird.
All right, sir, let's. Mr. Spade, this is going to be the most astonishing thing you've ever heard.
Yeah?
What do you know, sir, about the Knights of Rhodes?
Nothing.
They were crusaders, Mr. Spade. In 1539, these crusading knights persuaded the Emperor, Charles V, to give them the island of Malta.
Yeah?
He made but one condition. They were to pay him each year the tribute of a falcon in acknowledgement that Malta was still under Spain. Do you follow me?
Yeah, so far.
Good, good. Well, sir, the knights were profoundly grateful to the Emperor for his generosity to them. And the very first year they sent him not an insignificant live bird, but a glorious golden falcon, encrusted from head to foot with the finest jewels in the coffers. Well, sir, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
These are facts, sir, historical facts. They sent this jeweled bird to Charles, who was then in Spain, but never reached Spain. A famous admiral of buccaneers took the knight's galley and the bird. In 1713 it turned up in Sicily. In 1840 it appeared in Paris.
Oh?
It had by that time acquired a coat of black enamel, so that it looked nothing at all like, except but a fairly interesting black statuette. Then in 1922, a Greek dealer named Kallios found it in an obscure shop. No thickness of enamel could conceal the value from his eyes. Now, drink up, sir.
Yeah, go on.
Well, sir, to hold it safe, Kallios re-enameled the bird.
I see.
I got wind of this find, but when I arrived in Athens, I discovered that the bird was gone, and Kallios murdered. That was over 20 years ago. Well, sir, it took me 20 years to locate that bird, but I did. I traced it to the home of a Russian general, one Kemedov, in Istanbul. I sent some agents to get it. Well, sir, they got it, and I haven't got it.
Where's Kemidov?
Oh, Kemidov, he died.
Very suddenly.
Yes, his heart.
Was there a knife in it or a bullet?
Your glass, sir. Thank you. And now, before we start to talk prices, how soon are you willing to produce the Falcon?
Couple of days.
That's quite satisfactory. Well, sir, here's to a fair bargain. Drink up!
What's your idea of a fair bargain?
$25,000 when you deliver the Falcon to me, and another $25,000 later on. Or, I'll give you 1/4 of what I realize on the Falcon. That would amount to a vastly greater sum.
Well, how much greater?
Who knows? Shall I say 100,000? That would be the minimum.
What's the maximum?
What would you say to 250,000?
I think that the dingus is worth $1 million, huh?
At least.
That's a lot of dough.
A lot of dough.
What's the maximum?
What's the matter, Mr. Spade? Are you feeling ill?
What was in that drink?
The drink? Oh, I drugged it.
Yeah?
You'll be unconscious very shortly, Mr. Spade. You better lie down. I wouldn't want you to fall.
That's very good. Yeah, that's very...
Oh, dear. Dear. Oh, Joel, come in.
Is he unconscious?
Yes. You know, he's a very interesting person, Joel. The kind of man I enjoy dealing with.
We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. After a brief intermission, Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Krieger will return in the third act of the Maltese Falcon. And now, here's our Hollywood reporter, Libby Collins. Greetings, Libby. What's new?
Well, for one thing, Mr. Kennedy, my hat. What do you think of it?
Your hat, Libby, nice. Very nice, yes, I like it.
Oh, come now, stop hedging. What do you really think of it?
To tell you the truth, Libby, I hardly noticed the hat. I was looking at you.
Well, Mr. Kennedy, that's a compliment. But just let me turn around. Now look.
Oh, I see. Well, that's really quite a hat, Libby. That must be very new.
It is, but how did you know?
Well, it's so sort of simple, not one of those dizzy numbers that looks like it's going to fly off into space any minute.
Mr. Kennedy, you're an observant man. This is the newest thing. The profile cloche. It fits snugly on the head, and it's meant to frame the face, not take attention away from it.
I think I begin to see why you wore that little hat tonight, Libby.
Of course, to show that it's more important than ever for a woman to have nice, smooth skin.
Sure, because that kind of headgear, well, the emphasis is less on the hat than it is on the face underneath it. Well, Libby, I guess many a woman is going to be mighty happy about her Luxe soap complexion care then.
Yes, this hat seems designed to set off a lovely Luxe complexion. It's going to be a popular style this spring.
Then daily Luxe soap complexion care ought to be more popular than ever too. Because gentle Luxe toilet soap really makes skin softer, smoother. Recent tests show that Luxe soap beauty facials improve actually 3 out of 4 complexions, you know.
Well, Mr. Kennedy, nearly every famous star in Hollywood is devoted to this fine white soap. Screen stars say the creamy Luxe soap lather is wonderfully kind to delicate skin.
And that's why, Libby, I'm going to urge every woman in our audience who hasn't tried Luxe toilet soap to get some of Hollywood's beauty soap and use it every day. Well, here's a thrift tip, too. It's patriotic not to waste soap. And because Luxe soap is hard-milled, you can use it down to the last thin sliver. It'll last even longer if you always put it in a soap dish that's dry. Moisten the thin leftover piece and press it against your new cake of Luxe toilet soap. Now, Mr. DeMille returns to the microphone.
One of tonight's stars flew the Atlantic recently. We'll hear about it right after the play. Now, the third act of The Maltese Falcon, starring Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Krieger. When Sam Spade woke up, he was alone in the hotel room. Pale and still shaking from the effect of the drug, he's gone to his office, where Effie stares at him in alarm.
Mr. Spade, what happened to you?
I wouldn't know. I went visiting this afternoon with the knockout drops. Came to just a little while ago, all spread out on a man's floor.
Who did it?
The fat man.
But why?
Didn't have a chance to ask. Evidently, he wanted to get me out of the way for something.
I don't get it. You... Hello? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Who is it?
Give it to me again. Yes, I've got that. Captain... who? Jacoby. Yes, Hello? Hello? She's gone.
Who's gone? Who?
It was this Shaughnessy girl. She wants you. Here's the address.
26 Ancho Street.
But she's in some kind of trouble, Mr. Spade. She was telling me something about a captain, a ship captain named Jacoby, and then something happened to her.
What happened?
I don't know, like she was being choked.
Listen, was that the outside door?
I'll see. Yes? What do you... Oh!
Mr. Spade.
Who is it, Effie?
I don't know.
Mr. Spade.
Yes?
This package for you. She told me for you.
What's the matter with you?
For you.
Mr. Spade! Mr. Spade!
Shut up. Lock the door.
Yes. Here.
Give me your scissors from the desk, will you? I want to see what's in this package.
Here. Is he dead?
I got about 4 slugs in him, that's all.
Oh.
Come on, pull yourself together.
I'm all right.
Now, we'll see. This is what I think it is. Yeah.
What is it?
You've got it, Angel, we've got it. It's the Maltese Falcon.
The Falcon?
Look at it. The black bird. $1 million under a coat of enamel.
She said there was a... That's what she tried to tell us. He must be Captain Jacoby.
Now, listen. I've got to get to her. As soon as I'm gone, phone the police. Tell them how it happened, but forget he brought a bundle. Here, get it straight now.
Yes.
I'll leave the bird in the safe. When I call you, bring it to the Ancho Street address. Got it?
Yeah.
And after you bring it to me, go out and call Dundee. Tell him to come on the run with about 6 cops. No mistakes, Effie. I may need them.
Just keep your hands up, Mr. Spade, and come in, Wilma. Shut the door. Well, sir, we're all here, waiting for you. Now, let's sit down, Mr. Spade, and be comfortable.
Sure.
Sam, I tried to call you. I wanted to tell you.
It's all right, honey. Take it easy.
But they've been holding me here all last night and today.
But you've come to no harm, Miss Shaughnessy, as yet. Oh, Mr. Spade, I believe you know Mr. Cairo.
Yeah.
How do you do?
And Wilbur, of course.
Hey, you carrying a rod? Let me see.
Get away from me. You're not going to frisk me.
Stand
Put your
still.
paws on me and I'm going to make you use that gun. Ask your boss if he wants me shot up before we talk.
Sit down, Wilbur. Mr. Spade, you're certainly a most headstrong individual. We'll talk.
Yeah? Are you ready to make the first payment and take the Falcon off my hands?
You're sure you have it?
Sam, have you?
I didn't this afternoon, but I have now.
Then I'm willing to pay. Joel, the money, please.
Wait. There's another thing to be taken care of first. We've got to have a fall guy.
I beg your pardon.
Well, the police have to got a victim, somebody that they can stick these 3 murders.
2. Only 2 murders, Mr. Spade. Thursby undoubtedly killed your partner.
All right, 2. The point is, I've got to come up with somebody. A victim when the time comes. If I don't, I'll be it.
And whom do you recommend as this victim?
Oh, well, I'm not fussy. How about we give them Wilmer here? He'll do.
Why, you...
It'll wait, punk.
By gad, Mr. Spade, you are a character.
Well, it's our best bet. If we turn him over, the cops will be happy. We'll be free as the air.
And well, what do you think of this, Wilma? Mighty funny, hmm?
Oh, yeah, mighty funny.
Well, anyway, he killed Thursby, didn't he? He's made to order for the pot.
Get up on your feet.
Go away, punk.
I've taken all the riding from you I'm going to take. Now you get up and shoot it out.
Calm yourself, Wilma. Mr. Spade, your plan is not at all practical. Let's not say anything more about it.
Well, all right. I've got another suggestion. Want to hear it?
Most assuredly.
Well, give them Joel Cairo.
Suppose we give them you, Mr. Spade, or Miss Shaughnessy. How about that?
Now look, you people want the Falcon, I've got it, and the Fall Guy's part of the price. As for Miss Shaughnessy, well, if you think she could be rigged for the part, I'm willing to discuss it with you.
Sam!
What's the matter?
You don't mean it. You couldn't.
Well, no, because I don't think the cops would be happy with it, Angel. Personally, I see the only guy who's really right, and that's Wilmer.
I'll kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
Stop it! Stop it, do you hear?
Now, let him go.
I told him to lay off me. I warned him.
I hated to do that, but the punk had it coming to him. That's your Fall Guy, Mr. Gutman. What do you say?
I don't like it, sir.
Well, either you'll say yes right now, or I'll turn the Falcon and the whole lot of you in.
All right, you can have Wilmer. Carry him inside, Joel.
My secretary left an hour ago with the Falcon. She ought to be here in a few minutes. What about the money, Gutman?
In a few minutes, when she gets here.
Good enough. Now, let's get the details fixed. Now, why did Wilmer kill Thursby, and why and where did he shoot Captain Jacoby?
Well, I shall be candid with you, sir. Thursby was Miss Shaughnessy's ally. We believe that disposing of him would frighten Miss Shaughnessy into patching up her differences with us.
Yeah, that sounds all right. Now, Jacoby?
Captain Jacoby's death was entirely Miss Shaughnessy's fault.
That's a lie.
Well, tell me what happened.
Well, Cairo saw in the newspaper that Jacoby's ship was arriving. He remembered that Jacoby and Miss Shaughnessy had been seen together in Hong Kong. Well, sir, he put two and two together and guessed the truth. She had given the bird to Jacoby to bring here.
Yes, and at that juncture, you decided to slip the Mickey, huh?
Well, I'm sorry. There was no place for you in our plans, Mr. Spade. Mr. Cairo and Wilmer and I went to the boat to call on Captain Jacoby and Miss Shaughnessy. We persuaded Miss Shaughnessy to come to terms, or so we thought. Well, sir, we mere men should have known better. En route to my hotel, Captain Jacoby and the Falcon slipped completely through our fingers, except that Wilmer put a few bullets in him while he was running away. Oh, by the way, you said Jacoby died?
Yes, but not until after he brought me the Falcon.
Ah, well, there's a bright side to everything, isn't there?
No, I get it. It's my secretary.
You don't mind if I go to the door with you?
All right, come on.
Mr. Spade,
Thanks a lot, Effie.
I wrapped it up again. Is there anything else?
No, thanks, Effie. Bye, Effie.
Goodbye, Mr. Spade.
We have it, Mr. Spade.
Now, easy.
Let me see it quickly.
Here. I guess the pleasure ought to be Mr. Gutman.
After 20 years. 20 years. Yes, there it is. There you are, beauty.
Is it the Falcon? The original?
We will make sure. Your knife, Joel.
Here.
Thank you. Just a tiny cut in the enamel, and underneath we find...
Gutman, what's the matter?
It's a fake! It's lead! It's a fake!
But it can't be.
All right, Shaughnessy, you've had your little joke. Now tell us about it.
But no, Sam, no. That's the one I got from Kemenoff, I swear.
You bungled it, Gutman. You and your stupid attempt to buy it. Kemenoff cut on how valuable it was. He put a fake in its place.
Yes, that is Kemenoff's hand. There is no doubt of it. Well, Joel, what do you suggest? Shall we stand here and shed tears and call each other names? Or shall we go to Istanbul?
Istanbul? You're still going to look for the Falcon?
For 20 years I've wanted that little item. I've been trying to get it. I'll go on trying.
Very well. I'll go with you.
Get Wilmer. We'll start tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Wilmer, wait. He's gone.
What?
The window's open. He's gone.
Ah, swell lot of thieves.
We have little enough to boast about, sir, but the world hasn't come to an end just because we've run back into a little setback. I'm sorry about your money, Mr. Spade, but of course, you did not earn it.
Well, I held up my end. You got your Falcon. Your hard luck, not mine, that it wasn't what you wanted.
My hat, Joel.
Now, wait a minute.
Mr. Spade, it will do no good to argue. I haven't the money with me anyhow.
Well, I had an idea that was it.
Now, sir, we'll say goodbye to you. And since the shortest farewells are the best, adieu. And to you, Miss Shaughnessy, I leave the lead falcon as a little memento. Adieu.
Sam. Sam, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
But those murders, you're mixed up in them. You said yourself the police needed a victim. Call them now. Tell them about Gutman.
I don't have to call them. Gutman will be nailed before he goes a block. But when he's nailed, he'll talk. About you. Now, we're sitting on dynamite, and we've only got a couple of minutes to get all set for the cops. Now, give me all of it, fast, talk.
Where shall I begin?
Well, the day you first came into my office. Why did you want Thursby shadowed?
I told you, Sam. I suspected him of betraying me, and I wanted to find out.
Now, that's a lie. You had Thursby hooked, and you knew it. You wanted to get him out of the way before Jacoby came with the bird, isn't that so?
Yes.
What was your scheme?
Well, I thought if he saw someone following him, he might be frightened into going away.
Well, then you must have told Thursby that Archer was following him.
Yes, I told him. But please believe me, Sam. I wouldn't have told him if I thought Thursby would kill him.
Well, if you thought he wouldn't kill Archer, you were right, Angel.
He didn't?
No. Archer had been a cop too long to be caught that way up in a blind alley with his gun tucked away in his hip and his overcoat buttoned. But he would have gone up there with you, Angel. He was just dumb enough for that.
Sam!
And then you could have stood as close to him as you liked in the dark and put a hole through him with a gun you'd gotten from Thursby that night.
Don't you talk to me like that, Sam. You know I didn't.
Oh, shut up. This isn't the spot for the schoolgirl act. Why did you shoot him?
Oh, I didn't mean to at first. I didn't really. But when I saw that Thursby couldn't be frightened, Oh, Sam, darling!
Oh, go on, go on. When you found that Thursby didn't mean to tackle Archer, you borrowed the gun and did it yourself, right?
Yes.
You didn't know that Gutman was here hunting for you. Till you heard Thursby had been shot. Then you knew you needed another protector, so you came back to me.
Yes, but Sam, it wasn't only that. I would have come back to you sooner or later. For the very first minute I saw you, I knew that I would...
Oh, you angel. Well, if you got a good break, you'll be out of San Quentin in 20 years. You can come back to me then.
What? Oh, no! You're not going to...
I'm going to send you over.
Oh, no, don't, Sam. Don't say that.
You're taking the fall, darling.
You're doing this to me? Don't you understand, Sam? I'm in love with you!
That's great.
But you can't! You can't!
Yes, I can. You killed a man, darling, remember?
You know, deep down in your heart, you know that in spite of anything I've done, I love you!
I don't care who loves who. I'm not going to play the sucker. I'm going to walk into Thursby's and I don't know how many others' footsteps. You killed Miles, and you're going over for it.
Sam!
That's the cops.
Don't let them in. Please!
Sit tight, honey.
Sam!
Hello, Spade.
Get in. You get the fat boy?
Yeah, we got him. The kid, too.
Ah, swell. Here's another one for you. She killed Miles.
Can you prove it?
Can I, Miss Shaughnessy? Can I prove it? Go on, tell him.
Yes.
All right. Come on.
So long, Miss Shaughnessy.
This doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
Maybe. But you're going away. But chances are you'll get off with 20 years. If you do, I'll wait for you. And if they hang you, Angel, I'll always remember you.
Our stars will return to the microphone in just a moment. But here is Libby Collins with a very exciting question.
Who is the lovely Luxe girl?
Oh, you mean who is the mystery star in the big Luxe Girl contest?
That's it. The lovely Hollywood star with her eyes masked out. Her pictures appearing in newspapers everywhere, on posters in grocery stores all over the country.
Give our listeners a clue, Libby, to help identify her.
Right. Our Luxe mystery girl is a star of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's Too Young to Kiss.
Oh, that makes it easy for everyone to identify her and to enter this wonderful Luxe contest.
The prizes, John, are simply wonderful. Why, the first prize is $5,000 cash, plus a Ford Victoria sedan.
And there are 10 more Ford Victoria sedans to give away.
And 200 14-karat gold diamond Volvo watches.
Plus $10,000 in additional cash prizes.
Over $60,000 worth of prizes. And everyone's easy to win. Besides, it's really fun to enter the contest. First, you identify the mystery star. Then, complete the last line in the jingle.
Now here's the jingle. June is her name. The last is da-da-da. That's where you fill in the star's name. I'll repeat it. June is her name. The last is da-da-da. Her lovely skin is beyond comparison. Her beauty's soap's the one for me. Da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da.
Everyone knows lots of nice things about Luxe soap to help write that last line.
Yes, for instance, Luxe soap has active lather, rich, creamy lather that cleanses gently but thoroughly, leaves skin softer, smoother. It's a firm, white cake with a delicate flower-like fragrance. Comes in a generous peak bath size, too. 9 out of 10 screen stars are Luxe girls. So go ahead, enter this big Who's the Lovely Luxe Girl contest right away. Get the entry blank at your grocer's tomorrow. The picture of the star to be identified, the jingle, the rules, and the address are all on the blank. Send as many entries as you wish, but with each entry, attach 2 Luxe toilet soap wrappers, either regular or bath size. The contest closes October 15th. So start now, get your entry in right away. Just think, $60,000 worth of prizes, over 1,200 opportunities for you to win. And now, here's Mr. DeMille with our stars.
Tonight, the Maltese Falcon had its share of thrills, but in recent weeks, Edward G. Robinson had been on the road to adventure in real life. We'll get to the inside story now as he and Gail Patrick and Laird Krieger come back for a curtain call.
Must have been pretty exciting crossing the Atlantic in wartime, Eddie.
Well, we went over the plane, Gail, and as we approached the other side, it was nip and tuck there for a few minutes. I wasn't sure whether I'd make it or not.
Oh, Nazi planes go after you?
No, we were playing bridge, and I made the bid doubled and redoubled.
Huh. Did you fly back too, Eddie?
No, I came back on a ship, Laird. I was sure I'd get a chance to see a submarine, but nothing happened.
The word must have gone out that Little Caesar was aboard.
Now, don't kid about that, CB. Purely because of Little Caesar, I received a great distinction. The fellows made me an honorary member of the gun crew.
That's serious, Eddie. In entertaining our soldiers in England, how did you find them? Are they cheerful?
Cheerful and determined, CB. As for the English people, nothing seems to bother them. They've been rationing for so long it's a topic of conversation now. That great clock, Big Ben, was symbolic of the whole country to me. Every time it strikes, it seemed to be saying, "It's later than you think, Adolf Hitler."
I suppose you just been broadcasting yourself while you were there, Eddie.
Well, one afternoon I broadcast 6 messages to the continent in French, Spanish, Romanian, German, Danish, and Italian.
What? No Greek?
Well, I'm working on Russian at the moment, Gail. I want to be able to say thank you to all the Russians I meet from now on.
You've had many successes on the screen, but in years to come, I think you'll value most the success you achieved in this job for your country.
Well, thank you, CB. What are you doing here next week?
Well, that's when the big question comes up again, Eddie, because next week our play is the Paramount comedy hit, Our Husband's Necessary. And in it, we'll present those eminent thespians George Burns and Gracie Allen. In the play, George works in the bank and Gracie is secretly trying to help his career. So tune in next Monday night and get Gracie Allen's answer to that burning question, Are Husbands Necessary?
Sounds like a lot of fun, CB. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, good night. Don't omit George and Gracie. Our sponsors, the maker of Luxe Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Luxe Radio Theatre presents George Burns and Gracie Allen in Our Husbands Necessary. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Edward G. Robinson will soon be seen in the Columbia picture Destroyer. Gail Patrick is starring in the Republic production Hit Parade of 1943, and Laird Krieger's next picture is the 20th Century Fox Technicolor production Hello, Frisco, Hello. Heard in tonight's play were Charlie Lung as Cairo, V. Benedert as Effie, Eddie Marr as Wilmer, Warren Ash, Charles Seal, Leo Cleary, Fred McKay, and Norman Fields. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers. This is your announcer, John M. Kennedy, reminding you to tune in next Monday night to hear George Burns and Gracie Allen in Our Husbands Necessary. This is the Columbia Broadcasting Network.
All right, thank you so much for being here today. We've hoped that you've enjoyed our lovely show of mystery and intrigue, and maybe you can figure out who done it. As I said, we do our shows primarily over at the Oak Park Arms right down the street. Our next show is celebrating Hollywood? No, Halloween, the other one. It will be October 20th, that's a Sunday at 2 o'clock, and we will be doing 2 really scary episodes of The Inner Sanctum. So they're really worth checking out. And we also have then in December an exciting Christmas show coming up, and then in February we celebrate the fabulous and legendary feud between Jack Benny and Fred Allen. So we've got a lot of great shows coming up. We look forward to coming back here at some point. And until then, you can also check out our website, ttdyradio.com, for more information. But now, the cast of Those Thrilling Days of Yesteryear. Our announcer and pole house, John Corona. And Cecily DeMille and our DA, Steve Schroeder. Playing the role of Sam Spade and Eddie was Don Gingle. Captain Dundee was John Gould. And the role of Effie was Amy Kennedy. And Bridget O'Shaughnessy, or Gail, was Pam Turlow. And the role of Archer, as well as Jacoby, was Aaron Wolfenson. The role of the mysterious Cairo, Craig Gustafson. Libby the Lux Girl was Margie Gustafson. And the role of Wilmer was Marty Dean. And the role of the fat man, Gutman, was also played by Rob Lamont. And no radio show would be complete without the synchronous sound effect stylings of Pam Turlow, Rob Lamont, and Aaron Wolfenson. And I am the producer and director, Ben Goodall. And on behalf of the cast, I'd like to thank you, the audience, for once again for helping our show to come alive. And living those thrilling days of yesteryear so that we could bring them back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow.